Hello and welcome to day 20th of January already. My sister's birthday. Happy birthday to her. We're still here, still showing up. It's a late one tonight, but I am getting it done. It's been a tough day, to be honest. It's been a tough day, and the reason it's been tough is people have been trying to get my time, and I have a hard time saying no. However, it is something that I have been working on, and I just wanted to talk about it. And we often think that we're helping people by saying yes when somebody wants something and saying yes when somebody else wants something, and that may be true. We may be helping them, but more importantly, we are hurting ourselves in that every yes we give to someone to help them with whatever they are wanting from us, we are saying no to ourselves and taking away valuable time and energy and commitment from ourselves, and we are giving it to another person. And we should be investing that into ourselves. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't help people at all. Of course we should. But we shouldn't say it to avoid discomfort, awkwardness, or disappointing people, which is usually the reason we do say yes, even when we don't want to. We don't want to upset or disappoint people. And most people don't struggle with time, they struggle with boundaries, and overcommitment is usually the real problem. And we very often are the person ourselves who we are very often the first to break our own commitments. So I spoke about this a few videos ago, and I asked, if you were to write a list of the people you love most in the world, why aren't you on top? And it's very rare that we would think of ourselves first. And some people may say that sounds selfish, but we should all love ourselves more than any others. And we should always put ourselves first, because you may say you've got kids and family, and I completely understand that. But if you're not fit and healthy, you can't look after your kids. If you're not emotionally stable, in good mental health, you can't help others as well. So it's so important that we prioritise ourselves, we love ourselves, and we give time to ourselves. And that goes, with saying no to other people to satisfy that time and energy to looking after ourselves. And saying no to somebody isn't a rejection, it's a prioritisation for you. You're giving yourself that time. And we often worry about what people, if people are asking us for something, we think we're letting them down, we think we're disappointing them. But people don't really care that much. People will find a way to solve their own problems. They may ask you for help, but there will be other options. You're not obliged to say yes. Now, of course, if you take it to the extreme and someone's hanging off the edge of a cliff and you're the only one there and they're asking for help, that's a bit different. But for most things, you saying no to prioritise yourself isn't going to cause that person irreparable damage. And if they are disappointed and mad and take real offence to it, then you have to look at it from the view that, are they a good friend after all? The fact that you're prioritising yourself over them, should they be that mad about it? Should they be that disappointed? We all have our own lives, and what is their problem? And that's a different conversation. But we also think that, I'm a people pleaser, I can't say no. Saying no is a skill. It is something that you learn. It's not a personality trait. As humans, we all want to help others. It's in our nature to help other people. But saying no is a skill, and it's a skill that you can learn, you can develop, and you practice. And the more you practice saying no, the easier it gets. And as you start saying no, you will see what I said earlier, that people will find a solution elsewhere. You are not the be all and end all for people's problems. And the more you say no, the more you realise that, the easier it gets to say no the next time. Excuse me. And also, you don't have to explain saying no. I often find myself doing it, and I know other people do it. Maybe you do it. Let me know in the comments. But if you do say no to someone, you feel you have to justify that to them. You don't. If someone asks you if you want to go out and you don't have to make up an excuse. You just say no, not this time. Thank you for asking. You don't have to tell them why. You can if you want, if there's a genuine reason, but you're under no obligation. And if they're a true friend or a colleague who respects you, that's enough. And it's a two-way street. If you're asking for somebody for help, they're not obliged to help you, and that's the way the world works. And by saying no and giving yourself that priority, you will feel better, you will feel less stressed, because the more people you help, you're adding something to your day. The more things you add, the more pressure you're under to get them done. The worse you feel if you don't complete all the things that you wanted to do. If you set yourself up at the start of the day and you give yourself 3 tasks and you've done one of them and you're on track, and then someone asks you for help for something, you say yes, that's going to take time. All of a sudden you've got 3 things to do still, even though you've done one and you started with 3. Maybe somebody asks you for something else, you've got 4. All of a sudden it's lunchtime and you've got more tasks to do than you started with at the beginning of the day. And you're going to prioritise other people's problems before you prioritise your own, because you've said yes. You want to keep your word to those people and not disappoint them, which is why you probably said yes in the first place. And you get to the end of the day and you may have done the 2 tasks that other people have asked you, and you're left with 2 to do on your own, which you haven't completed. So you started the day with 3 tasks and you've done 1. All of a sudden you're on track mid-morning and the day's gone and you've got nothing to show for it. And it can soon, get out of control that way. But think about it yourself and think about how you feel if you ask somebody for help and they say no. Do you get really upset? Do you get mad? Do you get angry? Do you think less of them for saying no? Or do you focus on finding a solution to the problem you're having? It's very interesting, and the more I talk about it, the more insane it feels to me, and it sounds that we say yes to so much that we don't want to do. It's crazy, isn't it? We're here, we've got such short time, and if you ask anybody how they're doing and they say, yeah, I'm all right, and they say, oh, I'm so busy, I've got this, why are we committing to things that we don't want to commit to just to not disappoint somebody? We're disappointing ourselves, we're stressing ourselves out, we're overcommitting for what? To not let somebody down who, if you'd have said no, would have probably forgotten about it instantly and moved on to somebody else. So I think it's important that you don't overthink your power or your need. And I don't say that in a egotistical way, but if someone asks you for help, they've probably got other options as well, and you aren't the be all and end all. You can say no, they'll move on, you can carry on with your day, your tasks, your goals, your time and effort spent on you. And yeah, it's just say no. It's so much easier than saying yes, and you'll feel much better for it. I'll see you tomorrow.